Get ready, everyone. Today, we're diving into a whirlwind tour of Jim Carrey's top 10 films in a fresh, captivating way that'll hook you from the very first second. Buckle up and prepare for a ride through comedy gold, heartfelt drama, and mind-bending adventures. 1. Bruce Almighty, 2003. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that every single complaint you've ever hurled at the heavens just came back to stare you in the face. Except now you have the power to fix it all. That's exactly what happens to Bruce Nolan, an ordinary TV reporter whose life feels like one never-ending wave of frustration. He believes the universe is conspiring against him. His live broadcasts flop, his coworkers steal his glory, and he can't seem to catch a break with the boss. Eventually, in a heated fit of rage, Bruce fires off an angry tirade aimed directly at God. Little does he know, this rant is about to unlock the most extraordinary opportunity. The Almighty himself hands over the divine reins for a limited time, granting Bruce the power to run the world. Overnight, his existence transforms from small-time complaints to boundless possibilities. The real question becomes, once you can do absolutely anything, how do you avoid destroying everything? As Bruce grapples with these newfound abilities, the floodgates of chaos fly open. He conjures up miraculous wins for the local hockey team, manipulates traffic lights for the commute of his dreams, and even lures the moon closer for a romantic evening. But each whimsical act unleashes a domino effect on the people around him. Suddenly, everyone in the city wins the lottery, causing a mass riot. Weather patterns shift, tidal waves threaten coastal towns, and relationships start to crumble under his impulsive changes. You see, Bruce learns in the most spectacularly hilarious way that even a well-meaning mortal can wreak havoc when unlimited power collides with personal desires. Still, beyond the comedic gags and jaw-dropping stunts, the heart of this story beats with real warmth. You can't force love, happiness, or meaning into existence. By living out his cosmic fantasies, Bruce realizes that genuine contentment doesn't come from controlling every outcome, but from learning to appreciate life's unplanned wonders. Ultimately, his journey from whining everyman to accidental deity offers a heartfelt reminder. Humility and gratitude can do more than any miraculous superpower ever could. 2. The Majestic, 2001. Travel back to a post-war America in the 1950s, where Hollywood stands on a shaky foundation due to the ominous shadow of anti-communist sentiment. Peter Appleton, a bright-eyed screenwriter with big dreams, finds his burgeoning career ripped out from under him the moment he's accused, without concrete evidence of holding radical views. In a blink, he loses everything: the movie deals, the glitz, and the chance to prove his creative genius to the world. Desperate and distraught, Peter takes to the road in a haze of confusion until a tragic car accident robs him of something even more precious: his memory. This leads him to a small coastal town whose denizens mistake him for a long-lost local hero. Where others see a welcome homecoming, Peter sees a puzzling, half-remembered new existence. He immerses himself in refurbishing the Majestic, an old movie theater that stands as a testament to simpler times. And in many ways, it acts as a mirror to Peter's own murky identity. Gradually, we watch him fall in love with this quaint locale, forging friendships and even experiencing the hope of romance again. In this bubble of nostalgia, the Majestic becomes more than mere bricks and mortar. It transforms into a beacon that unites the town, reconnecting them with their past and inspiring them to embrace the future. But the outside world isn't finished with Peter. The relentless House Un-American Activities Committee is closing in, determined to root out anyone even vaguely associated with communist ideologies. As a result, Peter's new life stands on the brink of obliteration, forcing him to question who he really is, and whether this second chance at happiness is built on a false foundation. Loaded with an old-school sense of wonder and a universal message about standing up for personal convictions, The Majestic takes us on a poignant trip down memory lane. It's a thoughtful exploration of American ideals, the power of cinema to unite communities, and the discovery that sometimes losing yourself is the only way to find your true self again. 3. Yes Man, 2008. Picture living in a constant state of no. That's Carl Allen's entire existence before he's dragged, somewhat unwillingly, into a self-help seminar that preaches the transformative magic of the word yes. Stuck in a perpetual rut, Carl's fear of disappointment and failure has led him to avoid almost every opportunity that knocks on his door. Parties? No thanks. New friendships? Maybe next time. Spontaneous travels? Not a chance. But in a comedic twist of fate, Carl makes a pact to say yes to every single request, invitation, and challenge that crosses his path, no matter how bizarre or inconvenient. Cue a parade of situations that range from uproariously funny, like swallowing his pride to learn an unexpected skill, to downright life-changing, like meeting a free-spirited musician who might just turn everything around. Carl's abrupt shift from negativity to unbridled acceptance becomes a powerful force, breaking open his closed-off world. He gets promoted at work, meets fascinating new people, and discovers the rich tapestry of life he's been missing. The charm of Yes Man is in how it transforms a simple premise, saying yes more often, into a moving testament about stepping beyond self-imposed boundaries. Whether it's learning Korean, bungee jumping off bridges, or taking impromptu road trips, Carl's journey resonates with anyone who's ever felt stuck. But as often happens in life, too much of a good thing can lead to chaos. Carl's vow to never decline an offer reveals that balance is key. The film humorously underscores that personal growth doesn't come from reckless abandon, but from bravely opening up to the new and unexpected while still respecting one's own limits. Ultimately, Yes Man extends a quirky, heartfelt reminder that our best opportunities often lurk outside comfort zones. Sometimes the biggest risk isn't saying yes, it's letting the fear of a no keep us forever trapped in stagnation. 4. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, 1994. From the moment Ace Ventura bursts onto the screen in his trademark Hawaiian shirt, it's crystal clear we're in for an offbeat, side-splitting adventure like no other. Forget your typical gumshoe detective story. This one swaps hardened criminals for furry companions and high-stakes chases for comedic chaos. Ace isn't just any private eye. He specializes in tracking down missing pets, and he does so with unwavering determination and a flair for the ridiculous. When the Miami Dolphins' beloved mascot, a real-life dolphin named Snowflake, is brazenly kidnapped right before the Super Bowl, Ace's unorthodox skill set is suddenly in high demand. But as he doggedly follows leads, he finds that some secrets are lurking beneath the pristine turf of Miami's famed stadium. Along the way, Ace's investigations lead him from plush Miami penthouses to hidden aquatic hideaways. He crosses paths with suspicious athletes, skeptical security guards, and even the occasional reptile. Each interview becomes an outright spectacle as Ace wields his bizarre brand of comedic brilliance, like talking through his backside just to get a rise out of potential suspects. Yet behind the goofy antics, there's genuine detective skill at work. Ace meticulously analyzes every clue, never underestimating the bond between humans and their cherished animals. He dissects footprints, underwater evidence, and even the patterns of local wildlife. As the case unfolds, Ace stumbles upon an even bigger plot tied to hidden grievances and twisted personal vendettas. Of course, Ace's greatest gifts, his eccentricity and fierce loyalty to animals, are exactly what crack the case wide open. By the film's triumphant finale, it's obvious that while Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, is uproariously silly, it also celebrates an off-kilter hero who never underestimates the worth of a single creature, reminding us that sometimes the oddest angle is exactly what saves the day. 5. The Mask, 1994. In the realm of unstoppable alter egos, few transformations are as colorfully chaotic as Stanley Ipkiss, morphing into the mischievous green-faced whirlwind known simply as the Mask. By day, Stanley is a timid, well-meaning bank clerk with a heart of gold, but also an unfortunate tendency to get walked all over by just about everyone. By night, thanks to a mysterious ancient wooden mask discovered by the river, he becomes an uninhibited trickster who can spin tornadoes, tango with maracas, and outsmart the most hardened criminals with cartoonish ease. The wild difference between mild-mannered Stanley and his masked persona serves up a comedic hurricane that refuses to let up. A run-in with local gangsters, a budding romance with the dazzling Tina Carlisle, and a citywide manhunt for the unstoppable Green Menace are just a few highlights in this ride of swirling mania. Yet, beneath all the comedic mania lies a subtle insight into the dual nature that exists in us all. Who would you be if you cast aside every social inhibition? As the Mask, Stanley relishes the power to do the unthinkable. He outdances a whole police squad, shapeshifts to comic extremes, and gains the confidence to challenge menacing crime lords. But his moral compass still flickers beneath that emerald face. Each over-the-top spectacle not only entertains but also exposes the raw power and danger of unleashing our innermost desires without restraint. Meanwhile, the relationship with Tina adds another spark to the story. She's captivated by the Mask's charisma but also drawn to Stanley's humble sweetness, prompting a question as old as time: which persona is more real? Ultimately, the Mask fuses slapstick comedy, visual gags, and heartfelt moments into a vibrant masterpiece that resonates even today. It's a glowing cautionary tale that reminds us to be careful what we wish for when we seek an unfettered version of ourselves, and a testament to how one courageous act can unmask our true potential. 6. Liar, Liar, 1997. Fletcher Reed is a man who could probably talk his way out of a lion's den and make the lion apologize for wasting his time. As a high-powered attorney obsessed with winning, he sees the truth as nothing more than malleable clay he can shape for personal gain. More concerned about his career than quality time with his young son Max, Fletcher's life revolves around dazzling courtroom performances and fibs told so convincingly that even he starts believing them. But fate has a funny way of leveling the playing field. On Max's birthday, the boy makes a wish that his father can't tell a single lie for 24 hours. It's an innocent desire from a kid yearning for honesty, but for Fletcher, it's a personal crisis on an epic scale. The next morning, Fletcher's confronted with the impossible. Every time he tries to bend the truth, even a little, he ends up blurting out the unfiltered reality instead. Suddenly, compliments turn into awkward confessions, and politely nodding along transforms into cringe-worthy honesty. In the courtroom, his ironclad arguments unravel because he can't twist the facts, leaving him at the mercy of people who expect the usual Reed spin. Yet, in this losing battle, we see Fletcher grapple with who he truly is when stripped of his carefully constructed persona. Old regrets bubble to the surface, especially the neglected relationship with Max. This meltdown, while painfully hilarious, reveals an emotional turning point. Relationships built on white lies can quickly crumble when confronted with raw sincerity. Liar, Liar uses slapstick humor and rapid-fire comedic sequences to emphasize a deeper truth. Sometimes only when life forces us to drop the masks do we finally learn the value of genuine commitment. By the end, one can't help but root for Fletcher to reclaim both his integrity and his role as a caring father. 7. Dumb and Dumber, 1994. For those who think they've seen every flavor of friendship on screen, Harry and Lloyd will prove there's always room for another brand of ridiculous camaraderie. These two are a walking dictionary of funny mishaps, stubborn misunderstandings, and bizarre logic that, more often than not, leads them straight into trouble. Their journey kicks off when Lloyd, a chipper limousine driver, becomes instantly smitten with the enigmatic Mary Swanson after he drops her at the airport. Spotting her leaving a briefcase in the terminal, he believes it's his knightly duty to return it to her, never suspecting the case is filled with ransom money. Soon the pair set off for Aspen, clueless about the storm they're walking into. From starting an accidental fight with a trucker to surviving on their Mutts-Cuts dog van, every step of their adventure brims with comedic disasters. It's almost as though the cosmos itself has decided to fling every possible obstacle their way. Yet, for all their spectacularly dim-witted decisions, like taking a wrong turn and winding up in the middle of nowhere, Harry and Lloyd share an unwavering loyalty that feels oddly pure. Dumb and Dumber thrives on goofy physical comedy and brazen gags, but there's a hint of genuine charm underlying the stupidity. You find yourself rooting for these hopelessly naive dreamers, hoping they'll somehow stumble across a shred of good fortune. The brilliance lies in how the film pokes fun at their foolishness while ensuring they remain oddly lovable. Whether it's trading a van for a miniature scooter in the dead of winter, or bungling an important exchange with criminals, their escapades are testament to the unpredictable joy of unwavering friendship. Ultimately, this comedic romp reveals that sometimes a misguided heart, if earnest enough, can turn the most foolish mission into an unforgettable journey. 8. Man on the Moon, 1999. Andy Kaufman was never interested in playing by the rules. He was too busy rewriting them. Man on the Moon takes us on a captivating exploration of Kaufman's life and mind, capturing the essence of a performer whose comedic style was as bewildering as it was groundbreaking. We begin with Kaufman's rise in the 1970s comedy circuit, where his off-kilter impersonations and bizarre routines often left audiences more confused than amused. But that confusion was Kaufman's genius. He'd adopt personas like the obnoxious lounge singer Tony Clifton, intentionally alienating fans one moment, then reeling them back in the next. As he landed a role on the hit sitcom Taxi, he tasted mainstream success, but he also chafed under the constraints of network television. The film doesn't shy away from Andy's most controversial stunts, such as his obsession with professional wrestling, particularly the spectacle of intergender matches. This pastime quickly turned into a full-blown persona, with Andy hurling outlandish insults to female competitors and riling up crowds who didn't know what to think. But behind the ring, Persona stood a performer relentlessly committed to shattering the boundaries between entertainment and reality. Audiences found themselves questioning whether his displays were authentic or just part of another elaborate Kaufman show. Layered with moments of quiet vulnerability, especially as his health deteriorates later in life, Man on the Moon highlights the man behind the antics. Jim Carrey's transformative portrayal brings Andy's spirit to life, showing his dogged devotion to performance art, even if it meant alienating friends, fans, and colleagues. By the film's end, we're left with the lingering question of whether Andy was a comedic provocateur, a misunderstood artist, or a bit of both. His legacy is a testament to creative freedom, pushing boundaries, and the eternal puzzle of an entertainer who lived to challenge the very notion of what comedy could be. 9. The Truman Show, 1998. Truman Burbank lives in a pristine coastal town that's almost too perfect to be real. And that's precisely the point. His entire world is a colossal TV set, meticulously designed since birth to keep him in the dark about one very big secret. Every neighbor he greets, every crossing guard who waves him on, every random jogger passing by, they're all actors in on the ruse. Cameras capture Truman's every move 24/7, broadcasting his life to millions of viewers who watch as if it's the ultimate reality show. But for Truman, it's simply life. He has no idea that everything from his marriage to his best friend is orchestrated to deliver high-stakes drama. Over time, though, strange coincidences start piling up. A stage light falls from the sky, a radio channel mysteriously tracks his whereabouts, and one day he spots a face in the crowd that he feels certain he once knew, outside his artificial world. As these glitches multiply, Truman becomes consumed by the suspicion that something's fundamentally off. He attempts to outmaneuver the uncanny predictability around him, testing the boundaries of his town to the exasperation of its hidden directors and producers. Each time he tries, obstacles appear to thwart his escape. Traffic jams materialize out of thin air, sudden storms whip up fury on the open sea, and loved ones guilt-trip him into staying put. By layering comedic beats with biting social commentary, The Truman Show probes the ethics of mass surveillance and the audience's complicity in consuming someone's private life as entertainment. It's a film that raises the stakes on reality television, asking, how far would we go for a perfect show? And at what point does entertainment cross into exploitation? Truman's quest for freedom resonates as a deeply human story about identity, courage, and the need to break free from even the most luxurious cages. If you've ever felt like there must be something more beyond your everyday horizon, Truman's journey is bound to strike a chord in your heart. 10. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2004. Joel Barish begins his day in a daze, troubled by a haunting sense of absence he can't quite pinpoint. Then comes the bombshell revelation. His ex-girlfriend Clementine has used a radical procedure to erase every memory of their time together. Heartbroken, Joel impulsively chooses to undergo the same process, determined to scrub every trace of her from his mind. Here is where reality fractures into dreamlike fragments. We're drawn into Joel's subconscious as the memories of his relationship with Clementine unravel in reverse. Each recollection is like a snow globe of life, fragile, shimmering, full of quiet moments that once meant everything. Yet these snapshots slip away one by one, undone by a high-tech method designed to obliterate the emotional pain of lost love. However, as Joel relives these scenes, a new realization stirs in him. The happiness he once felt with Clementine is worth fighting for, even amid heartbreak. In a panicked frenzy within his own mind, Joel tries to save fragments of their most cherished experiences. Silly inside jokes, shared sunsets, spontaneous road trips. Scenes collapse like staged sets being torn down around him, and he scrambles to hide Clementine in corners of his psyche that the memory eraser can't find. This surreal odyssey reveals a profound message. Love can be messy, painful, and terrifyingly imperfect, but it's also the glue that binds our sense of self. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind dives headfirst into the notion that our memories, especially the complicated ones, shape who we are. By clinging to the fragments of Clementine, Joel rediscovers a spark, forging an emotional outcry that resonates beyond the confines of a mere romance film. Sometimes it's not about erasing wounds, but learning to move forward and accepting every flawed, luminous moment that built the life we know. And there you have it, 10 standout Jim Carrey films, each brimming with its own brand of humor, heart, and reflection. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more cinematic explorations. Don't forget to spread the word with your friends who crave a good movie marathon too. Thanks for joining, and see you in the next video.